Hi everyone, welcome back to the Java class. So let us continue the session to learn multi-threading in Java programming language. In today's session, you will learn how to create a thread by implementing Runnable Interface. In our previous video sessions, we have covered how to create multiple threads by extending a thread class. So create a new thread by implementing Runnable Interface include following three steps. Step 1, create a thread that implements Runnable Interface. Step 2, override run method. Step 3, you will create the thread object T1, or inside it you will pass your child thread reference. And after this, with the help of thread object, you will call the start method in order to start a thread. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE and understand with the help of a programming example how to create a thread by implementing a runnable interface. Okay, so let us create multiple threads. Step 1, create a thread class that implements runnable interface. So we have created a class number printer that will implement a runnable interface. Step 2, you will override the run method. So inside it, how will you override the run method? You will go to the source, select override implement methods, and here inside runnable interface, we have a run method. You can just click on it. So this method will be overridden. Here we go, you can see. So I will remove this method from here and I will add inside this class. So inside run method, you can provide the complete body of a class. So inside it, I'm just adding a for loop to iterate some set of statement over finite number of times. So here I am using I is equal 0, I less than equal 10, and I plus plus. Inside it, just I'm displaying a message system.out.println, or inside it, you will just display the name of a thread. So how will you just get the name of a thread? So thread dot current thread dot get name function will return the name of a thread, and after it you can display the iteration number that is present inside a variable I, right? So that is the body of a thread. Inside it, I'm just adding a sleep method in order to pause a thread. So I will add thread.sleep, or inside it you can pass some sleeping time in the milliseconds. So here I'm just randomizing the time using a random class. So I'm just adding new random instance dot next int, or inside it I'm just passing the value 1000. So it will pause a thread. It will just pause a thread iteration for 0 to 1000 milliseconds, right? And you know very well the sleep method always throw an exception. So exception name is interrupted exception. So you can fix it by surrounding with try and catch. So here we go. You can see this is the body of a thread. So the run method contains the body of a thread that is you are trying to execute when thread will start. So this is the run method. Okay, so after this, when thread will finish its execution, so I will just drop a message that is thread dot current thread dot get name is exiting. I can write this statement when thread will finish its execution. So this is the complete body of a thread. So let us move to the main programs in order to create the multiple instance of a thread. So what is the step 3? Step 3 is, you will see here, create a thread object and pass the reference of a thread class and call the start method. So I will just follow this step. So here I will write this inside a comment and you can understand how we are doing it. So what will you do? The first, you will create an instance of a thread class. So I will create an instance of a thread class. Thread1 is equal new thread, or inside it you will pass the reference of your child thread. So this is your child thread name number printer. So what will you do? You will pass the instance of it. You will write new number printer. Here we go. And after this, you will, or you can call the start method in order to start a thread. So you can call thread one dot start function, right? So we have created one child thread and already we have a main thread. So in the present scenario, we have two threads, or in order to create multiple threads, you can create the multiple instance of a thread class. So you can create a thread 2 is equal the new thread, or inside it, you can pass the instance of a number printer, right? The number printer. So two child threads are created. So we can say here, creating two child threads, right? After this, in the similar way, you can just start this method also, this thread also, by calling the start function. So now we have created two child threads and we are just calling the start function in order to start the thread. And after it, I'm just adding some part inside the main thread. Thread dot current thread dot get name is finished. So this is a main thread, okay? So this is the body of the main thread. So let us, our program is completed. Now let us run this program and you will see what is the output of it. So let me just run this, right click on it, run as run Java application. And here you can see it is showing the main is finished and your rest child threads are continuing their execution. So here we go, you can see it is showing the main is finished. Main is the first thread which is finished before their child threads. Then thread 1 is started, then thread 0 is started, then 1 is started, then again 1 is started. For here, we have added the randomized time inside a sleep method. So all the threads, the child thread can take any random time between 0 to 1000 milliseconds, or they can switch between thread 0 and thread 1. So here you can see the thread 1, thread 0, thread 1, thread 0. So whenever you will run this program multiple times, you will get the different output. But the thing is common, you can see the main thread. Here we go, this is the output. So it is, you can see the thread 0, iteration 0, then main is finished, then rest your child threads are continuing their execution. So in the current state, all the threads, two child threads and the main threads are on the equal priorities, so any thread can start. Okay, so if you want your main thread will finish its execution after their child thread, so you can just call the join function. So you can call the join function. So for example, the thread 1 dot join, or you can call the thread 2 dot join, right? So this join function always through an exception of type interrupted exception. So you can surround it with try and catch. So here we go, you can see, or the same thread 2 dot join you can add inside this try block. So what it does and what is the meaning of join function? You are calling the join function on thread 1 and thread 2. What is the meaning of it? Means the main thread will wait until thread 1 and thread 2 finish its execution. So let us save this program and run it and you will see what is the output of it. So you will right click on it, go to run as, and you will see what is the output of it. So here we go. You can see it is showing the output. Your child thread will complete its execution and your main thread will finish its execution at the end. So even whenever you will run multiple times, your main thread will always finish at the end. So here we go, you can see the thread 0 and thread 1 has completed its execution, and main will finish its execution at the end. So guys, this is the way how to create multiple threads by implementing the runnable interface. So you can see the complete programs. We have created a class that implement a runnable interface. Then you have provided the body inside the run method, or inside the main class you are creating the multiple instance of a thread class, or you are starting the thread. So at this point, you might be wondering why Java has two different ways to create child threads. One is by extending a thread class, and another is by implementing the runnable interface. So which approach is better? You might be wondering about which approach is better in order to create the multiple threads. So the answer to this question turn on the same point. The thread class defines several methods that can be overridden by the derived class. Of course, inside this, or of course, in both the approach, we are implementing or we are overriding the run method in order to provide the body of a thread, right? So which approach is better? So I can give you some hint. So if you will not be, or if you will not override any of the thread methods other than the run method, so it is probably best approach is to simply implement the runnable interface. Also, by implementing runnable interface, your thread class doesn't need to inherit other thread methods, or making it free to inherit a different class also. So whenever you will implement the runnable interface in order to create multiple threads, you have the freedom. You can extend or you can inherit the property of another class also, right? So ultimately, which approach is better and which approach to use is up to the user requirements or up to the need of the users. So generally, you can create the thread by implementing the runnable interface. So guys, this is the way how to create multiple threads by implementing a runnable interface. So I hope you understand the concept of it. So guys, thank you for watching these videos. If you like this video, please just provide your feedback in your comment sections. Thank you very much. Bye bye for now. Have a great day.